Special thanks to all our patrons who support the show every single week. We couldn't do it without you. Head over to patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast and subscribe today for bonus content, exclusive happy hour live chats, and more. Patrons, you help keep the Run, Eat, Drink podcast going, and we're so grateful for you. Not a patron yet? Join us today at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Help support the show by using our Amazon affiliate link. Anytime you shop on Amazon for running gear, food, beverages, or anything else the little gray trucks might bring your way, just use runeatdrink.net/Amazon anytime you shop. It costs nothing extra. It's only one extra click, and it helps us keep the lights on and the bandwidth flowing. Just go to runeatdrink.net/Amazon, and we thank you for your support.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Lee, aka the Pink-Haired Princess, proud member of the Runcation Nation. You're listening to the internationally beloved Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country. And after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation. Dana, it's time for another Runcation recap.
It's an international Runcation recap this week.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I am so excited. I have been looking forward to this for weeks. Not only our pink-haired princess, the one who makes us international, the one that we traveled to Walt Disney World this past January to hug at mile 24 of the marathon, but almost to 48.6 with her.
Who has served as an intrepid field reporter for the Run, Eat, Drink podcast as well.
And also obtained for us beer to try from international waters. Shh.
Yeah, don't tell anyone.
Okay. It's Rhonda Lee. Welcome to our show, Rhonda Lee. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, we love you and your positivity and just...
And that pink hair, for those that are watching the video, they can see it. For those who are not watching the video, if you're a patron of the show, you get to watch the videos.
It's true.
The pink hair is in full force today.
Love it. We love it.
Like she walked off the set of the Barbie movie.
Yeah. She deserves to float down in the house.
Yes.
Like floating down in the house instead of taking the stairs. Although that would be, going up and down the stairs would be good training for hills. For races.
If you're running a hilly race.
Mm-hmm. But at any rate, we know you. And you are a longtime follower of the podcast. And we appreciate you being a field reporter, recapping some favorite beers with us, actually trying one of our favorite beers from one of our favorite shows, Letterkenny, in the Runcation Nation Facebook group. But for those who don't know you, take a little bit of time. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you're drinking during this race recap with us.
Okay. I am Rhonda Lee. I live in beautiful Sydney, Nova Scotia, Canada, with my lovely husband, Ray, and my darling dog, Miss Riversong. I am an occupational therapist who works in mental health at our local hospital. Let's see what else. Oh, and I love making crafts. So I work also at our local farmers market, selling glass etching and gourmet marshmallows now.
Okay. Do you do
not at the same time? No glass in the marshmallows, right?
No glass in the marshmallows.
Okay, correct. Just making sure.
Do you ship those items internationally?
I never have yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk after the show.
For the
I'm
future.
a marshmallow fan.
Yes, quite. S'mores works for us. No.
I also happen to know that Rhonda Lee is a big fan of fantasy.
Yes.
That is near and dear to my heart.
I know. I love everything Disney, a lot of sci-fi, and Dungeons and Dragons.
There you go.
What's the series on Amazon that we were watching? That was
the series on Amazon. Oh, you're talking about The Expanse.
No, not The Expanse. Like
Legends of Vox Machina.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You like it?
Oh, very much.
Yes. Yeah. He got me into it, and I don't know if I could do like full on role playing Dungeons and Dragons type things, but it was very interesting to see how they converted what was like a just YouTube role playing kind of thing to
an actual TV show.
Yeah. Storyline, which was great. So.
Yeah. And I will be honest, I did not want to play Dungeons and Dragons. Ray kept asking me, and I finally agreed to it if I could only be a mermaid. That was the only reason I started playing.
And
there you go.
Why not? Why? It's fantasy. Why not?
Yeah.
Totally.
So, I thought it would mess with him. He's okay. That's fine. I'm like,
you thought you were going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Just much. When you were out. Yeah. They pull you back in.
She picked something. He's not going to be able to work this into the story, and he was totally able to work it into the story.
There you go, Ray.
Good job.
And
props
now
to you.
He's created me as a dice goblin. I have that many sets of dice. It is not funny.
We'll have to compare dice sets sometime.
I need visuals for this.
Okay, that's a little bit about Rhonda Lee the person. Let's talk about Rhonda Lee the runner. How did you start running, and how did you find us?
Okay. You know what? I'll start with how I found you guys, because that's probably the shorter one. I've probably been listening since you guys actually started as a video podcast.
Oh, wow.
For a very long time.
Rhonda's an OG.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So if you guys can probably even go back to your stats, if you had a Halifax or a Cape Bretoner person, probably me.
Yay. Oh, that's so good. We've been international for longer than we thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
How I started running, that one's a little bit longer because I could never run. I hated the thought of running. I could not do it while I was growing up. I couldn't even run from probably Splash Mountain to Big Thunder Mountain without having a breathing asthma attack, any of that.
And they're really close together for anybody who has not been to Walt Disney World. So.
Yeah, very close. I had just come back from my first trip to Disney in 2010. And one of my colleagues had told me he had just finished doing his very first full marathon. So as we were chatting, he's like, you can do a run anywhere. I'm like, no, dude, I cannot run. This cannot happen. He's like, no, seriously, you can do this anywhere, including Disney World. You jerk. So I went home, looked at the medals, and decided to start running.
Aww.
Yeah.
So it's Disney motivated for you.
It was Disney and bling motivated.
Like you, Dana.
Like me.
Yeah.
Downloaded the Couch to 5K program. Took me 4 weeks to get off of week 1.
And that was the one, that's Jeff Galloway's, the Lolo app, right? No, or just a different one.
And couldn't do it. Or it literally took 4 weeks for me to be able to successfully complete week 1.
Wow. And you stuck with it, though.
And then the longer the runs got, I almost quit. And because running 20 minutes straight was it was brutal. Couldn't do it. About to quit. And then I found the Jeff Galloway method. And I was like, all right, I can do this.
So then how did you find the Galloway method?
Oh, how did I find that one? That I don't know. Oh, I think there was a Canadian running coach very similar to him.
Mm-hmm.
So most Canadians tend to try to get up to a 10-to-1 interval. So I just stuck to a 1-to-1. And then I think when I joined the Lizards, I got more into the Galloway.
Yes, because he is the official coach for Run Disney. So that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. And we've talked a little bit about Disney and coming up to see you for Dopey. But what race weekend is a must-do destination race that you're going to recap on the show, and why did you choose it?
Okay. So for me, I'm choosing to do my local race here up in Cape Breton. It's called the Cape Breton Fiddlers. I've been doing this one, I think I've done it about 4 or 5 times since 2012 for different distances, mostly the 5K, with the last 2 attempts being at a half marathon level.
The last 2 attempts.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So like me, you might have gotten injured on the course and had to did not finish that.
No, I was good. In 2019, I had signed up to do the half and I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. I did no training.
No training.
Absolutely no training. I did a 15-kilometer walk one day. That was the extent of my training.
One long training.
That sounds fine. What's wrong with that?
Fortunately, Hurricane Dorian canceled the race.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, it's like with Ian last year and us in Clearwater.
Yeah, when those hurricanes that we eyeball here in Florida curve and go north, sometimes they land in Canada.
Yeah.
Yes. Like you had Fiona when we had Ian.
Yeah, we did have Fiona in October, which was pretty rough. And knock on wood, Dorian wasn't that bad for us.
Good.
But it was an awful lot of rain. But I was very thankful, yet very upset with myself that I was not trained.
So
been there.
Big advocate of training.
Yeah. And so it was also though the kick in the butt that I needed to get me back into consistent training. That feeling.
Okay. Sometimes the lowest points in your racing history or your racing experience can be the biggest motivators.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. And it's to see where it has taken you all the way to 48.6. It's amazing and inspiring. So how did you find this race?
It's in my hometown.
So just word of mouth or
what was that?
Just word of mouth, other people talking about it?
A few people around, seeing runners out doing the course. And the reason I had chosen to do the half marathon is my house is directly on the course. So I would have a real bathroom at mile 5 and mile 7.
There's something to be said for that.
At mile 5 and mile 7.
Yeah, it's an out and back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's an out and back. So you would, and you could always grab a bottle of water from the fridge when you're in the house.
Yeah.
Making your stop.
It was perfect. And in 2020, it was canceled because of they went virtual because of the pandemic. So I did sign up to do it. I just reversed the course. I started at my house, went to where the start line would have been, and then ran back.
Interesting. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canceled it in 2021. And then I signed up to do it in 2022 for the same distance. I was all excited that it was going to be my redemption race from the hurricane. And I got COVID 3 weeks before.
Oh, no. We've experienced illness before a race.
The first time that we did all of our marathon training for the Disney Marathon, we got up to 25 miles in our training runs, and then we got the flu the week of the race.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. It was like almost bronchitis then. I don't know, but at any rate, we've talked about that.
So for this race, since it was local, you hopefully had a pretty easy sign-up process. Can you tell the Runcation Nation what is that registration process like?
It is all online, very easy. It's nothing like a lot of the major races or Disney. Even now, the race is only about 50% sold out. So you can pretty much get registered up to 2 or 3 days before the race.
And when is the race typically held? What month?
October 22nd weekend this year.
So like just prior to Halloween
Yeah.
is normally when it's held.
Yeah. Last year it was in September, around the September 11th weekend.
Okay.
So for some reason they moved back to the October, which is a much better time.
Better weather related, I would think it would be better too.
Weather as well as the scenery. The fall here is just breathtaking with all the colors. Yeah.
Now, I'm looking online at CapeBretonFiddlersRun.com, and don't worry, we'll have a link to this in the show notes.
Of course.
But it looks like the course keeps fairly close to the water for pretty much the whole thing.
Really?
I'm looking at the half marathon route here right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So they offer a 5, 10, half, and full. All the races start at the same place. The full marathon repeats the half marathon course twice.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
Oh, okay.
Now, and I'm also looking, you start at 3 meters of elevation. The maximum is 33 meters of elevation. And over the course, you gain 111 meters.
Okay.
Cumulatively. There's a lot of this.
Is it hilly in your experience, Rhonda Lee?
I'm looking at this is good. You look at these course diagrams of the elevation, you go, oh, but let's talk with somebody who's done it here. What say you?
Really?
For the most part, it's not that bad for the first half. It's more gentle rolling hills.
However,
the hill that is at my place that goes up to the turning point is about 1 kilometer in length, and it's not too steep, but it's enough that it's a pain in the butt.
You feel it. Literally, you feel it in your hips, in your glutes, in your hamstrings, your quads.
I feel it right now.
All burning, I'm sure.
And I see the hill you're talking about in their little interactive elevation map here.
Okay.
Which, by the way, really nice website.
It is.
Yeah. And when I do my training runs, that is and just in the neighborhood, I choose to go that way because there's another hill if I go up the other way that's about the same distance, but much steeper.
Good to know. Oh, but
so I choose that way because it's a little bit easier.
You're training the actual course, though. And then, so that's good.
Heck yeah.
That's okay. The registration process is not a lottery. It is not we've talked about that. It's not really super stressful. Like I got to have 50 million computers and iPads and
it's not a majors or a Disney registration situation.
Okay. But okay. How's the race entry fee?
I believe so. They do offer tiered pricing. The earlier you get, the cheaper. Right now, it's $50 Canadian. So I think that's 37 US.
Oh, she knows the conversion.
Wow.
And they let you register. Here's a question. They let you, if I'm here and I want to go, they will let you pay in the US dollars?
Oh, I would imagine, yeah.
Oh.
If they're taking payment online, I'm sure they
I would
will.
think they would, right? They just convert
I would think it would convert. Same like how when I register for the Disney ones.
Okay. Good. Yes.
They want to be able to take your money. They're not.
They want to be able to take the money. Period.
They're not going to let a little thing like international borders hinder that.
And there's not a lottery, but is there a pace requirement?
I think you have to be able to do the full marathon in 6 hours.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, the full marathon in 6 hours, but they all go off at relatively the same time and at the same place.
Yeah. And so for us, when we did the race last year, they recommend only for the 5 and 10K for people to walk it. They do recommend runners for the half. I did walk the half last year with the goal of getting to the turnaround spot before we were lapped by a full marathoner.
Did it happen?
Yes, by about 7 minutes.
Very nice.
7 minutes.
Hey.
Nice.
But you did it.
Yeah.
That's what's important.
That's a good goal. Yeah. Okay. So
theoretically, then somebody who might be doing a back of the packer,
run walk,
maybe doing a run walk or just solely walking. The course is open for 6 hours, so they have it's a little more generous time limit.
Kind of like the Donna.
Yes.
Like the Donna Marathon weekend where you, on the half, it's a little less pressure than, say, the marathon where you have to beat a certain point before a certain time.
Exactly.
So that's good to know. Good to know for folks like us. Now.
Yeah, I'm going to ask the question.
You are because you are bling driven. You should ask this
and you
one.
mentioned it already.
Yeah.
You said that you're bling driven like me.
Oh, look here.
How's the bling? Let's talk about that.
Of course, we're going to ask Rhonda Lee for pictures for the episode artwork, but the live feed here,
she has it with her.
I bet she has it.
So I do have them, and I grabbed them from all, or at least the 4 races that I did do. So this was my very first little one.
Aww. It's a cute one.
It's really cute. It was 2012, right? It's really cute. This one was 2018.
Wow. Now that one that's a big one. That's
a big one.
It's a really gorgeous ribbon.
Look at the colors too. The teal.
Yep.
It's
teal,
just the aqua,
teal and white. And
very
and
mermaid.
On the course, you actually pass by the world's largest fiddle. It's actually on the waterfront there.
That's great. Now, see, when you said fiddlers initially, being a Floridian, we think fiddler crabs. And I'm like, okay, no, this is about the musical instrument.
Cape Breton is renowned for their fiddlers.
Oh.
Yeah, and their Celtic music.
And do they have fiddlers that play on the course?
Yes, I believe so.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
This is the 2021. So this is the shape of our island.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha. And you can see the silhouette of the runner inside of the outline of a fiddle.
Yeah.
So cool.
That's great. And again, keeping with that teal color, that seems to be like their official color.
Like their color palette, yes.
Yeah, and then that was last year's. So
is that a bottle opener?
Bottle opener.
Oh.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes. If there's anybody who's listening who organizes this race, having an incorporated bottle opener in the medal, thumbs up.
Yeah, absolutely. That is, and I can only assume they may have had your choice of beverage. We'll get to beverages later, but beverages after the race at the finish line, so you could use that medal.
Yeah.
There was chocolate milk in a carton.
If you try hard and believe in yourself, you could open that chocolate milk with that thing.
Probably could. It'd be fun.
Okay. I'm sorry. Is there a certain cause that's tied to the race that they raise funds for, or?
Not really. What they do is they do try to promote the healthy living, and in June they usually have a youth run, which is always quite entertaining. I even did that in 2012 when I was first starting to learn how to run with my nephew, who would have been 4 at the time. And a 4-year-old just wants to go.
And fast. Kids want, and we have seen this at Jeff Galloway's race when he does the kids races in Atlanta.
And if you are thinking, oh, I'm just going to go out there and run with the kids, you better be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't keep up with them.
Oh my God. He ended up falling, got up, dusted his knees off. All right, let's go.
I don't care. Oh. Kids, they just will try anything.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. Normally we would ask how you traveled there. You walk out your front door, you're on the course almost. But for somebody who might be traveling there, how would you recommend they get there? What airports? Maybe give somebody who might be coming to visit a member of the Runcation Nation who's in Cape Breton pointers.
We do have a very small airport here in Sydney. Flights can be a nightmare for trying to get decent times. So I would recommend anybody who would be coming, I would recommend flying into Halifax, which is about a 4 to 5 hour drive away.
Ah, okay.
And you're going to have, that is an international airport in Halifax. Mm-hmm. So you would be able to go there. Yeah.
Safer option.
And even that's where we do most of our travel out of. We'll actually drive the 4 or 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is a good tip, actually, because if you're wanting to take in the beauty up there and having a major international airport hub that you can operate out of, that's really smart. Smaller airports are great, like you said, if you can get a flight in. Heck, even here in the States, if you're flying into Alaska, a lot of those flights to areas that for us are much more remote.
True, that's true.
The timing is what it is, and you're at the mercy of the airlines.
So you just drive to the start, or
I literally drive to the start. And if anybody is coming, there are 2 hotels like within a kilometer or 2 within and right on the course.
Oh.
That's very
You mean at
convenient.
at the start or the finish?
At the start.
At the start?
So that it starts and finishes
It's an
at
out
the
and
same
back.
step.
Since, yes. Duh.
At the start and the finish.
At the start and the finish. Yes. Duh, Amy. Yeah. Okay.
But one of my best friends lives in the north end, so where the race is, so I just park my car at her place and walk the kilometer there.
Oh, that's super convenient. Now, if somebody is flying in and they're driving and they get there, are they better served leaving the car at the hotel and then maybe relying on Uber, Lyft, bus, public transportation, or is it just a super drivable town?
Fairly super drivable town. There's no Uber or Lyft here.
Okay.
Good
no
tip.
buses on Sundays. Yeah, so it would either rent a car, take a taxi, or call your favorite international princess.
There you go. Careful. You might get some people calling.
Okay, so you said there were 2 hotels.
Yeah.
Are they national chains, or you think they would fill up really quickly prior to the race?
So one is a Holiday Inn Express.
Ah.
The other used to be a Cambridge Suites. Now it's a Simon Hotel, so I'm not familiar with that one as much.
So you could stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night and be like maybe 17 to 22% faster.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there you go. So it's good.
Now, this race, do they have an expo attached to it? I don't expect any race to have something like the Disney or the majors, but any kind of expo or anything at all like that leading up to the beginning of the event?
A very tiny one, basically just to pick up your T-shirts and your bib.
Okay.
How are the T-shirts actually? We talked about the bling and you showed off the bling.
Yeah. One thing I love is that they started, I think like 2018, is putting different Cape Breton sayings on on the backs of the shirts.
Ooh.
I also brought my shirts down.
Hey.
So
Very nice.
Got your logo.
And then
You from away. This was last year. You're from the Pier Dare.
Oh my gosh.
And this one is very running appropriate. Back in a jiffy.
Oh, yes, it is.
Very cute.
Oh,
Now, are those cotton or are those moisture wicking?
Moisture wicking.
Oh, that's
good.
Excellent. So basically, and do you, they don't have same day packet pickup for the race, do they?
Not that I've seen.
So pick it up before.
Yeah.
And it would make sense with having so many. Logistically, that might be a real challenge if you're having like 5K, 10K, half, and a full marathon.
Yeah. And I would say for those that might be thinking to travel to this one, you're going to want to give yourself an extra day on the front and on the back because you're going to want to fly into Halifax and then drive.
Oh, yes.
So planning to do your packet pickup early or ahead of time seems like the smart way to go.
True.
Actually, and there may be same day because I think I do remember it's at the start and finish line is at the military base here.
Oh.
And I think there might be a few.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Logistically, they have it down there.
it might be available, but that may not be the thing to plan on.
It would be like a backup.
The rules, I think, are very flexible that say if you were getting in late, hey, Rhonda, can you pick up my race package?
Oh.
It's not like the Disney races. Loved ones can pick up your.
That is so nice.
Yes.
I appreciate the security that a lot of races have.
Sure.
However, security and convenience are two opposite ends of a spectrum. And when you can't get somebody to pick up your packet for you, that sucks.
It's frustrating.
It's terrible.
It's frustrating. Okay. So we've talked about the packet pickup process. We've talked about the bling, the shirts, not necessarily the bibs, but let's talk about a little bit about you and the night before a half marathon. Do you have any specific rituals or things that you do to set yourself up for success before a half marathon?
I try to lay everything out. because I'm always afraid I'm going to forget something. So I will create a little mini Rhonda on the bed of here is everything.
Yes. Like a flat me.
A flat me. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. And what do you just do it with the clothing that you, or do you also prepare the nutrition and hydration situation?
Depending on the distance, I will prepare the nutrition with it, or at least have the hydration vest ready to go.
Yeah.
I may not put my sandwich in there, but everything else is ready to go.
Sandwich?
I will eat a peanut butter and jam sandwich before the run.
Oh.
And even when I did the half marathon last year, I actually had a backup peanut butter and jam sandwich in my mailbox.
Hey.
I love it. And that's especially for half marathon or higher. What a great food option.
It is. That's why we
easy
have,
on the tummy, lots of protein, lots of good carbs. Yeah.
That's why Uncrustables are so great in training. That's yes. Shout out too.
We actually just got those here in Nova Scotia like last month.
You have not had them up until now?
I have never seen them in the stores.
Have you tried them yet?
Did you try them?
I did in Disney because that's actually what I would take for what I took for the dopey.
Oh, smart. So smart. It's just easy, and it comes in that plastic so that you can,
You have to worry about leaking all over your running belt or your vest.
Right. As it defrosts.
So we talked about you laying out everything in the night before. How about the morning? Obviously, you're making peanut butter and jam sandwiches. Any other rituals for the morning?
No, not really. The other ritual I have is, which I know Amy will appreciate, is I need my morning coffee.
Yes, I do. I appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
How do you take your coffee, Rhonda, while we're talking about this?
It can't taste like coffee.
It cannot taste like coffee. So
Milk and wave a picture of coffee by it.
So it's either a mocha, vanilla latte, or pumpkin spice latte.
Nothing wrong
excellent. And we're coming to the season for that.
Oh, yes.
Not quite yet, but we're almost there.
The pumpkin spice creamers are appearing in stores now.
Oh, are they? Okay. We're easing into the season, apparently.
We're going to manifest some fall down here.
We are. Okay, so jam sandwiches you do, and you have the pre-race coffee. Do you do anything like specific stretching or yoga, or
No.
you're just...
For me, usually I like a good warm-up walk. So even during the race, I will walk for a good kilometer before I even really start any intervals.
Yeah, I feel like the first mile, like you say, the first mile is always a liar.
Oh, it is.
Because you're always getting the kinks out or the nervousness or whatever it is.
Well, especially if you've been standing in a corral for any length of time.
Oh, that's a good question for the morning of, actually. Are there corrals at this race?
No, not really, because there's not all that many people. Maybe 1,000 max. It's not a very big race at all. And the staggered start, I think the full and the half marathoners start at 7:30 in the morning. The 10Kers at, I think, 8, and the 5Kers at 8:15.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are waves according to the race distance that you do.
Yeah.
But so it won't get too flooded with people.
No. And do they do any kind of pre-race entertainment, or the announcers kind of work in the crowd a little bit, or music, doing anything like that?
Yeah, so there's music, there's DJs playing, there are the race announcers trying to hype up the runners.
Good.
Usually, I think last year, one of the bagpipers from the military base let us out and onto the course.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Sounds like your kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You enjoy the bagpipers when we go to Alaska?
I do, very much every year.
Yeah. Okay. So you said it was it's rolling hills is how you define the course.
Rolling hills for most of it, except for the 1 kilometer hill at the halfway point.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, what else could you tell us about what you could expect in terms of the view and what runners will be taking in along the course?
All right. So as you start, as I said, you start at the military base, maybe not even a half a kilometer in. It's all along the water. You're going to pass the giant fiddle. down at the water at the cruise pavilion there. Again, you just along the water, you're going to pass the hotels where you might be staying at, the farmers market, beautiful Wentworth Park is up there. Then once you get into my neck of the woods, again, you're running even closer to the water. You get a nice breeze, beautiful scenery with the orange and the yellow and the red leaves. It is my favorite time of the year.
It's mine too. I love fall. I absolutely love fall. And I by the water, and typically if it's October, then it's in terms of dressing for the races.
What kind of temperatures might you expect?
Yeah.
Amy and I would be very comfortable in our skirts but we're also cold runners.
It's true.
So I'm trying to think. Probably, now it can vary what the weather, but I'm going to say 10 Celsius might be roughly your average.
Oh.
I unfortunately don't have that.
So that's 50 degrees?
50.
I'm doing the web conversion here as we speak because we don't use that down here. And that's because we're just hard-headed Americans.
Oh. Tell me how you really feel, Dana.
Well, we're the only ones I think that still use this. I actually know the formula by heart to do it, but that's math. So
that's math you don't want to do.
It's 50 degrees.
50
degrees Fahrenheit. Yes.
Yeah. So that's okay. So that's good.
That's really good.
I like that. And I don't even think that you would hate that, Dana.
I would not hate that at all. That is perfect.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable.
And you don't have to worry about layers.
Does it tend to rain during that time of year up there?
Ooh, good question.
I know October, it can at any time, but
yeah, October is usually pretty good. September, where it's the end of hurricane season here, you may get more of the weather.
Yeah. Yeah. So how's the on-course hydration and nutrition and stops? Pretty
good. I'd say 2 to 3 kilometers, there's usually a water stop that you get to hit then on your way back. They're manned by fantastic volunteers with some from the high school. My favorite being at the Legion at the turnaround park, being individuals from the Special Olympics.
Oh,
they're cheering us on. Yeah.
That's so great. Do you recommend taking your own, like you do the peanut butter and jam sandwiches. Do you recommend taking your own because they might be at intervals that you don't plan?
Yeah, lots of water and Gatorade. I do take my own hydration vest. I mostly did it because I wanted to have that race distance under my belt with the hydration vest for Dopey.
So smart. There's a good training tip for everybody out there. If you're going to use a hydration belt or vest, you should be training with it.
So good. Yeah. So good. Yeah. Full of tips. She's full of tips. There you go.
And I believe only the full marathoners, they offer the gels to them.
Oh,
so
okay.
Not for the half. So
no. So you want to be prepared if you do take nutrition for because I feel like you need it if you are a back of the pack runner that is like us that are out there for a greater length of time. Don't you? I do. Okay, so we've talked about the course, we've talked about the scenery, we've talked about the hydration. Do you have any pacing groups or no?
No, there were no pacing groups. There were the marshals on the bikes checking in with people and following the lead pack.
Okay.
And they would keep checking in on us, since me and the one I met on the course, walking it together, just to check in on us, just seeing if you guys are still okay.
Oh, that's very nice, though. I'm glad that they've got that on the course.
Yeah.
So you've done all that.
Yeah.
You've experienced it. You're crossing the finish line. We know there's chocolate milk. Talk about the finish line experience.
So this race was actually very special to me, since I was 3 weeks post-COVID and had residual breathing issues after it. But I was determined that I was going to start the race. because in my mind, a do not start is worse than a do not finish. I had no problem pulling myself from the course if the breathing got worse or whatever. Because especially in this particular year, dopey was the end goal. I was taking my time. At the start of the race, I had actually met this lady. She was trying to do intervals and she was struggling. And I even caught up with her with just my walking. She didn't even know she was signed up to do the half marathon. Her friend just signed her up. She was not trained.
Not much of a friend. Whoa.
There's a shock.
So we made a pact to stay together and walk for as long as we could. And since it's an out and back course, we cheered on every single person that was coming back towards us. It was the highlight race for me. And then when we crossed the finish line, we actually held hands and ran over the finish line together. This lady who I just met at the start of the 4-hour race.
Aw.
Oh, it's fantastic, though.
It's runners. We have said this, that runners are some of the most supportive people, both virtually and in social media and on the course. Just wonderful.
Absolutely.
People. Just wonderful.
It's that shared trauma. You're trauma bonding during a race.
Well, yeah, and you're achieving goals, and I just think there's something positive inside you that happens when you do that, and when you support others, it kind of invigorates and inspires you too. So you talked about meeting this woman and doing the race, crossing the finish line, getting the medal, doing the post race. Did you plan on a celebratory post-race meal? And if not, if somebody's coming to that area, where should the celebratory meal be?
All right. So for me, what I really wanted after that race was I was craving salt. So I really wanted McDonald's French fries. But the drive-through line was really long.
Oh, no mobile ordering up there?
It was. I just didn't think of it.
Oh.
But my local coffee shop had been closed on Sundays. They had decided that was their first one that they were opening on Sunday. I left the lineup and went there and ordered one of their wraps. And they're like, pickles? I'm like, yes, please. And lots of them. I'm very spoiled at my coffee shop. It was a mountain. A log cabin mountain of dill pickles.
That's good.
Were you still wearing your running outfit and had your number on? So they knew.
Oh, yeah. They knew.
They knew.
They knew.
That's
What
great.
is the name of your coffee shop?
The Ugly Mug.
The Ugly
Mug.
Mug. We will link to them in the show notes.
Okay.
Oh, they would love that. They are the nicest people. I would recommend anybody going there for their coffee. But my celebratory meal, there's 2 places I would go to. There is a local diner here called Selkies, they also used to own a food truck called The Mermaid. Beautiful food. I think their number 1 ingredient that they cook with is butter.
Ooh.
Love that.
Yes.
Love that. And
yes.
so, yeah, a lot of comfort food like mac and cheese.
I was going to ask you, what do they have?
Yeah, so very much comfort food and the best eggs Benedict that you guys would ever have in your life.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's traditional eggs Benedict. No, the twist on it.
Fancy riff on it.
They will do riffs every once in a while. With
Like a special.
The other favorite one being their lobster one.
Oh.
Ooh.
What? Yes.
Speaking of.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Ugly Mug for coffee. Selkies for comfort food.
For comfort food. And then if I'm going for my celebratory drink, not new place, but a place that I've rediscovered called 7 by 7.
7 by 7.
Tell us more about this.
Yeah, tell us about the place and then tell us about the drink you're seeking out there.
Yeah.
Okay. So the place, it's downtown by the race course. Nice little small little establishment. Excellent food as well. We were actually there last night for my mother-in-law's birthday.
Oh.
And they did their drink special last night was a fishbowl of Empress 1908 gin and pineapple juice. And it was a lovely cocktail and massive.
Empress gin. Rhonda Lee loves.
You had me at fishbowl.
Loves the gin. Also fishbowl,
yeah.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there was beautiful dried fruit in it. It was a fantastic cocktail. They do a lot of different flights, margarita flight, lemonade flight.
Oh, for non-alcoholic, if you want to do a lemonade.
Oh, and even alcoholic versions as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you could have it all. You could have it all.
So they have some non-alcoholic options as well as good food.
We've talked about Cape Breton.
Yes.
Where are you accomplishing and exploring and indulging next?
Oh, I'm signed up to do Detroit this year because I deferred it last year because of Hurricane Fiona.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Detroit Free Press.
The Detroit Free Press International, yeah.
That JoJo did for St. Jude. Okay.
Yeah, so I was supposed to do that last year with JoJo.
Okay.
Deferred it because of the hurricane. Due to some personal circumstances, probably going to have to defer it again this year.
Oh.
So my next probably major one will be Dopey 2025.
Ooh.
Wow, okay.
But you'll do little local races along the way. Because I find that motivates me. I don't know about you, but I find that motivates me in the training cycle.
I need something to train towards. So I may even consider doing the Halifax Blue Nose Marathon that's in May.
Oh.
So I may do that one. But if you think my course is hilly, Dana, you don't want to see what that course elevation looks like.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Eesh.
So
It's brutal.
it's run the bluegrass then.
Sounds like it.
But yeah. So the big end goal will be Dopey 2025.
Dopey 2025.
Okay.
And hopefully Dopey to Dumbo. I haven't fully decided that.
Oh.
Very nice.
Oh. That's if they keep it at the same dates. It's a very quick turnaround.
It is.
Very quick. And I don't know, I can't remember. Oh, Dopey to Dumbo, because Dopey would come first, the way they have the dates laid out. We wish you the best of luck with that and hope we get to see you at those races. We can't thank you enough for being such a loyal, longtime listener, a patron of our show, making us international.
From the very beginning.
From the very beginning.
Do us a favor, Ronald, before we let you go, let the Runcation Nation know how they can connect with you online.
Yeah.
You'll find me on Facebook under my name of Rhonda Lee. I'm also on Instagram as Rhonda Lee 07, I think. Yeah, those are the two best places to find me.
All right.
Rhonda Lee, we really can't thank you enough for coming on and for always being in our live chats, always supporting us the way that you do. It was incredible to meet you this last year at Dopey, and
we got to do it again soon.
We got to do it again soon. You're such a valued member of the Runcation Nation. We cannot wait to accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having another great year thanks to your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Run, Eat, Drink Podcast. And on Twitter, we're Run, Eat, Drink Pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or send us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Find out how you can support the show at patreon.com facebook.com/Run, Eat, Drink podcast. Accomplish, explore, and indulge along with us. We'll talk to you next time.